I'm here to teach you how to use Adobe Premiere Pro 2018 and subsequently newer versions of the program in under 5 minutes. And I'm not just going to be teaching you the basics. This is going to be 95% of the things you need to know. Check the description for a list of everything I explain in this video if you want to skip to something, and feel free to ask for extra help in the comments. Alright, here we go. Name your new project and press enter. I'm going to make edits on the intro to this video as an example. Before starting, go to File, Project Settings, and if you have anything but software-only rendering enabled here, you'll have to either switch to software, which will be more taxing on your CPU, or close any recording software currently using your GPU encoder like OBS, Mirrorless Action, or Raptor. To begin, double-click here to import your videos. If this isn't the tab you see, click the Project tab here. I'm going to make some folders to organize the different scenes by pressing this button here. Double-click to add this folder as a tab here. Drag a video onto the timeline. It will pop up as a video and audio track. Now to make sure your video settings are correct, go to Sequence, Sequence Settings, and set your resolution and frame rate, then align your time base to your desired frame rate. Now drag this slider down to make the audio track a little taller. Close the audio meter because it bugs out all the time and stops the timeline from updating. Drag this slider to zoom a little bit. If you want to show the preview on a second monitor, you can press F2 to toggle Mercury Transmit. Press the C key on your keyboard to switch to the razor tool. This will allow us to cut the video track. Press space on your keyboard or the play button to start watching the video. I'm going to cut it here. I cut it by clicking the track with the razor tool out. If you want to edit the audio independently from its linked video, you can lock one of the tracks here and make your changes. I'm going to add another video now. I'm going to press the V key to switch back over to the selection tool so I can move it over. I want to make sure that the snap feature is enabled so that the video will snap to the end of the other video. I'm just going to approximate the end of this clip by dragging the edge over here. That should be good. So now that I've edited together the parts that I want, I'm going to add some transitions. Go to Effects, Video Transitions, and choose one you like. I'm going to use the Cross Dissolve transition, which is just a fancy name for the fade transition. Now I'm going to show you how to use a video effect. Let's add a blur effect by dragging it onto the video clip. Up here are the effect controls of the effects of this selected clip. If you don't see this, then make sure you have the effect controls tab selected. We're going to make the blur 10% and make it fade in. To do that, we're going to keyframe the blur amount. Click this button to make a keyframe. That will record this effect's settings at this point. This keyframe is at the beginning of the video. About 1 second in, the blur is keyframed again and it now has 10% blur. Premiere will automatically blend between the keyframes. Don't worry, you don't have to make 10 keyframes with 1% blur increments. So now when we watch the clip back, the blur fades in. If you only want to apply this effect to a certain area, you can define a region that's a circle, square, or custom shape with these 3 buttons. If your computer can't handle rendering this live, you can lower the preview resolution or pre-render this portion of the video by right-clicking on the timeline ruler and setting an in and out point around the video, and then selecting Effects, Render Effects into Out, or Render into Out to get it all up and running again. Before we move on, I want to mention the right-click menu on the timeline clips. Here you'll find important features like scale to frame size, the option to link and unlink a video from its audio clip, the ability to nest your selected content to a little bundle which can have effects and edits done to it as a whole, the ability to interpolate the video to your sequence's frame rate, and the options to change your clip's volume and speed through a menu rather than their keybinds, which are G and Ctrl-R. Let's add some text. Go to File, New, Legacy Title. This will make a pop-up box where you can click to place a text box and stylize the text with these options, and center it with these buttons. Your text is now a clip that you can drop onto the timeline like anything else, and you can edit it by double-clicking it from the timeline or the bin. Let's have this fly in from the right. I'm going to keyframe this from the right at the beginning to the center at the same time the blur finishes fading in. Boom, now the text flies in. Now that we have our text, let's add some music. For this video, I'm using royalty-free lo-fi by Ziggy Beats. Let's drag it onto the timeline below our current audio track that is from this video. Let's cut it in here and out here so that our first part starts and ends with the intro. Let's make sure it's a good volume. It's a little loud. Let's select it, press G, and turn it down to about -15 decibels, which is relative to its original volume. If you want, you can add some effects to the video now, like a crop, brightness and contrast changes, and chromatic aberrations. If you want to look at all your color correction in one panel, click the color layout up here, which will rearrange everything for you and put a lumetric color effect on your video. Here you can change everything, including the midtones and highlights as individual hues, and even add LUTs. So now you should be able to make a fully edited video. The things I have shown you here will transfer to most other aspects of the program. For instance, you can keyframe most effects like opacity and scale. I'd recommend checking through the effects to see what you like. I personally have made a favorites folder for my favorite effects like the fast color corrector, constant power audio transition, which is just a standard audio fade, and the ultra key effect, which allows you to remove certain colors from a video like when you're taking a green screen out. Now we want to export the video. Click into the timeline and press Ctrl M, then select entire sequence, set your format to whatever you want. I'm doing H.264, which makes a standard MP4 file, and then choose a preset here like YouTube 1080p or something, unless you want to go custom, which I do often. Also make sure you have the right resolution set here as well as the right frame rate of your video. Click here to choose the export location and name of the file, then make sure you're exporting with maximum render quality, and if you rendered anything beforehand, use previews will shave time off your export by using those. Now you're ready to render your video. Tight fit. But I think we got everything in there. I do more than just tutorials on this channel, like this video where I spend the entire day doing the French Duolingo class. Alright, thanks for watching.